Today we finish the work on the author's doll together with Tatiana Godard. We will learn the ways of face painting, secrets of applying a coat of paint. Tatiana Godard is the remarkable theatrical artist who generously shares her secrets of the skill. And we will help to dress our romantic hero. Today, wish you inspiration Tatiana Godard and Tatiana Lazareva. Hello, dear viewers. I don't want to go on the street, because I'm alive. The puppet has declared to the artist who has created it. Today we will continue work on creation of the unique author's doll of Pierrot, made by the remarkable Cyprian artist Tatiana Godard. Today our aim is to take separate elements, to gather them and to paint the face. So, my dear friends, our doll is collected. From the partition it has turned to the semi-person. Look, we have covered it with the nominal skin. It's not painted yet, but we approach to this stage of work. Look, I paint with acrylic paints and with watercolor. What do? I apply the first layer. It's possible to apply it with a long brush. Then I take a sponge and tamp. In other words, I go from dark tone to the light. I coat the first layer with dark acrylic, then the lighter shade, and the third tone is absolutely light. And when I tamp with small pieces, cut a sponge on small pieces, I begin to tamp on bulges, and the last layer which I make turns out lighten. In other words, I lighten cheeks and nose. All our bulges become lighter, and thus the face gets volume. I paint eyes with watercolor. It's very nice stuff. The watercolor gives softness, picturesqueness. Also, it's possible to use women's cosmetics, eyeshadows, blushes, powders. Also, the pastel well approaches, but not wax, but usual. And when I have already painted eyes, I coat them with a gloss for nails. In other words, a transparent polish. This achieves the effect of tear. In other words, the eye revives and becomes very interesting. And I coat with wax. That's all. From the top of wax we apply nothing. Wax is the final stage of work on the face painting. I paint the face with acrylic paints, but it's everyone's business and you choose the material. You can paint with a pastel, oil paints, tempera, what you like more, and the image itself will tell you what material to choose. Because from the image which you create depends what technique you will use when painting.
Вы будете пользоваться при росписи.
And by the way, we worked with such unique material as paperclay and saw how it was convenient, practical, harmlessly and very nicely, but at 16th, 17th centuries it was very difficult to master, and they worked with the most different materials, for example with wax. Wax was very interesting in work. Sometimes it were completely wax dolls, and sometimes dolls from papier-mâché, at which the fine details expressing feelings of emotions were from wax. These dolls were not many survived as the material wasn't durable, but here is what typical. When made dolls of wax, at the first dolls the trunk and the neck were monolithic, and only then there were dolls with mobile details. And one more important point. We can make to dolls different hairdresses because we use the most interesting materials, for example, a hair. And at wax first dolls, the hairdress made it once together with the head. And today we painted eyes, and at the first wax doll sometimes eyes were inserted and sometimes glass, and they could be closed and open, as for example as the ancient doll representing Queen Victoria. While we have a small technological pause, we dry our doll, we were entrusted with a very important part of work. We will dress our doll, because we also will put a little heat of our hands to creation of this remarkable image. For inspiration, Tatiana has suggested to look at any interesting books. We have stopped on Jean-Antoine Watteau, which has been in turn was fascinated by actors, singers, dancers, and he has the fine Gilles. This image on the one hand is very touching and romantic, and on the other hand he knows so much about us, people, that having looked in his eyes it's possible to understand much about the man. He has short white linen trousers, the same blues, and pay attention the sleeves of the blues will be very long because they will be rolled up in the elbows. And look at the third detail, is the big gophered collar. We will start from this image. Our work will consist of two stages. At first we will cut out two details of the trousers, then two all cutting out details on the line of a sleeve for the blues. The sleeves will be very long, that after we could roll them up in the elbow band. And after stitching off side and shoulder seams, we won't lay a cup seaming on the bottom. We take a glutinous web and will accelerate the process. And the last detail is a goffered collar. We take 2 long strips of a fabric, we'll middle them face up, we'll lay a seam and needle forward on perimeter, a long line, and we'll ruffle, creating such wavy goffered collar. We will just have to pass it in the wonderful hands of our artist, and Tatiana Godard will definitively finish a burst of this image. My dear and good doll makers, we have made our first doll of Pierrot. If you like it, if you want to make the second, it necessarily remains with you on all life. This fascinating hobby which can turn into the profession. Thank you and maybe to new meetings. Successes to you, and we can meet at doll exhibitions in Moscow or abroad. Good luck! Our masterclass is finished. Beautiful as we see, it's not given so easy. But if you have remembered in the beginning the fairy tale The Cinderella, it will be worth it to remember its poetic edification, finishing the fairy tale. If the fairy godmother, the baby Cinderella, has put on her strange soul that has deserved to the Cinderella the crown, then this fairy tale is not a trifle. Good luck to new meetings. With you, there were Tatiana Godard and Tatiana Lazareva. Bye.